हेलो दोस्तों, कैसी भी स्ट्रेटजी हो, सारी स्ट्रेटजी से लॉस होता है। और आप कितना भी बैक टेस्ट कर लो, कितना भी थ्योरेटिकली आप उसको अलाइन कर लो, कितनी भी आप उसमें क्वांटम मॉडल्स लगा लो, जब आप उसको रियल वर्ल्ड में लगाने जाते हो तो कुछ ना कुछ अनएक्सपेक्टेड होता ही रहता है। दिक्कत ये आती है दोस्तों कि जब स्ट्रेटजी में जितना लॉस हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे उससे ज्यादा लॉस होने लगता है, फिर हमेशा एक प्रेशर रहता है कि लॉस को रिकवर करना है। अब एक चीज दोस्तों, हम लोग एक फेल टू रियलाइज कि जिस स्ट्रेटजी की वजह से जिस एनवायरमेंट में लॉस हो रहा है, उसी स्ट्रेटजी से उसी एनवायरमेंट में लॉस कवर करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है, तो स्ट्रेटजी को चेंज करना पड़ सकता है। तो यहाँ पर दोस्तों आप लोग को एक प्राइस एक्शन बेस्ड स्ट्रेटजी मैं आप लोग को देने जा रहा हूँ। इस स्ट्रेटजी खास बात यह है कि सबसे पहली बात, ये इंडिकेटर फ्री है, प्योर प्राइस एक्शन। और ये स्ट्रेटजी एक होली ग्रेल स्ट्रेटजी, मतलब कि इसमें आप कोई से भी कंसेक्यूटिव 30 ट्रेड्स ले लो, एनी कंसेक्यूटिव 30 ट्रेड्स हमेशा प्रॉफिट होगा। और ये स्कैल्पिंग बेस्ड, तो जब लॉसेस जब बढ़ जाते हैं, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लो होता है, ट्रेड्स को होल्ड करने की कैपेसिटी नहीं बचती है, इन दैट केस फटाफट एंटर किया, फटाफट 1:5 लिया और एग्जिट कर गए। तो ये स्ट्रेटजी एक तरह से यू कैन से कि फॉर मी इन माय केस एक तरह से गारंटीड मेथड है लॉस रिकवरी करने के लिए। तो आप में से जो भी दोस्त डिस्पाइट हैविंग अ गुड स्ट्रेटजी फिर भी लॉस अगर हो रहा है और आप स्ट्रेटजी को नहीं छोड़ना चाहते हैं लेकिन लॉस को रिकवर करना चाहते हैं, तो मैं आप लोग को सभी लोग को इनवाइट करना चाहता हूं, इस वीडियो को आप लोग जरूर ध्यान से देखें। बहुत ही इजी स्ट्रेटजी है और बहुत इजी टू यूज है। फिक्स 1:5 का टारगेट होता है, 65% एक्यूरेसी है। और बस आप वीडियो एंजॉय करिए। आप फिर मुझे खुद बताइएगा कमेंट्स में कि आपको स्ट्रेटजी कैसी लगी।
I am going to talk about one gap which is not commonly observed, not commonly talked about, and even if it's talked about, it is mentioned in advanced studies of price action or smart money concepts or supply demand, the similar thing. So this is the type of a hidden gap which is not directly visible to the naked eye. And after this session, you will be able to identify such gap. You will be able to trade such gap. Time frame for this gap is 5 minutes, so it is suitable for scalpers. Friends, you are aware of what type of gaps, what is a gap basically you are aware of. Let's say if we have 3 consecutive green candles and then suddenly a red candle appears or something like that, then we all know that closing of green candle is at the top and the closing and the open of the red candle is also at the top. The gap between the closing price of previous candle and opening price of the next candle is considered as a gap. It is defined as a gap. And this is visible in the chart. Going through the same definition is because gap is between 2 candles, so closing of the previous candle and opening of the next candle. The gap between them, the difference of price between them is considered a gap. This also means if candles are like this, so green candle closed here, red candle opened here, this is also a gap. If candles are like this, so green candle closed here, opening candle, the red candle opened here, this is also a gap. Gap that we are going to talk about. Okay, this type of gap is usually not directly visible unless you look for it. So these type of gaps are hidden gaps, and these type of gaps are what constitute our strategy. In this, we are going to follow 2 critical rules. First, we are going to validate when such gaps occur, which gaps are tradable and which gaps should be avoided. And for these valid gaps, we only need to look for the 2 criteria. It's not complicated, simple 2 rules. First, it needs to be validated, and I will be explaining how to validate such gaps, and the gap should not be mitigated. This also I'll be showing you in the chart. The time frame is 5 minutes. So first thing first, time frame is 5 minutes. If you want to take the screenshot, you can take the screenshot of this. This is the gap that we are going to talk about, and we are going to delve into this. So in 5 minutes, and the chart is Banknifty. It's my favorite instrument. In 5-minute charts, we are trying to identify the gaps like this. Here, this is the closing price of green candle, and this is the opening price of the next candle, and this is the gap. So this is how this gap is formed. Now, those of you, if you have been paying attention or observing my charts that I post in Telegram channel occasionally, some of these zones also appear of this color, cyan color. These zones are this gap that I mark on my chart, and I also trade them because they are highly profitable. But I only trade them when I am having a bad day to recover my loss. loss. So this gap is marked. Let me try to find some more such examples, because there are plenty of such gaps which are formed every day. Here also, this is the closing price, and actually gap is from here. So this is the closing price of previous candle, 15 o'clock candle, and not 15 o'clock, 15 candle, 1500 candle, whatever. And then next candle, it opened here. Then it tried to push down, and then it retraced. And you might think it's possible that this candle might have oscillated here a couple of times, then went up. Yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't matter. All price action studies are based like this. They only consider the painted picture. So this gap is also there. Similarly, if you happen to look here closely, this gap is also there. It's a very small gap, but let's not be very brutal on our eyes. And let me just try to find out in the beginning the gaps which are easy for us to observe. Okay, this gap is there. Let me zoom in. Closing price and next candle is open price. Here only buy side transactions took place. Sellers could not do anything. So they left, or they were left unsatisfied. Also, here is also another gap, and these gaps keep on forming here also. So candle closed here, next candle opened here. Sellers got the opportunity to sell. Buyers did not get the sufficient opportunity to buy. So these gaps, they keep on forming, and not each of them are tradable. Like this one is tradable, this one was not, this one was not, this one, yes, both of them were tradable, and they give a fair amount of profit also. And best part is your stop loss is never more than 20 points of Banknifty. First thing that you have written down, time frame is 5 minutes. And second thing that you want to write down is maximum stop loss is 20 points Banknifty. After that, next point that you want to write is, and only for Banknifty, that sometimes gap between these two candles can be less than a point. Let me find such gap. Let's say here. Here, the gap can be more than 1 point. Yeah, it is more than 1 point. But if this gap is less than 1 point of Banknifty, you are going to ignore that. Please write the third point. Minimum gap width should be 1 point. And next best part is you don't need to hold your trade beyond 15 minutes, 5 minutes. That's the maximum limit. Your profit or loss will be resulted within that. So these are the few key points. Okay, sorry about that. This got repeated. Ignore this. First thing, you don't need any indicator for this. And since this is meant for scalping, so it doesn't matter whether market is range bound or market is trending. You'll always get entries. The profits are quick. You don't need to wait more than 15 minutes. Generally, it happens within one candle. Sometimes 2 candle when profit becomes large. And it, on an average, it produces 4 to 5 trades per day. So it's good enough to trade for the scalper. And for those people who do not prefer large number of trades, yes, they can also benefit from this. And it is tradable up to 1.8 crore of capital. Now, this strategy has been tested and back tested for 2 different kind of scenarios. Now the backtesting results. If you are only putting the limit order and taking the entry and stop loss, then accuracy comes out to be 39%. So accuracy is 39%. Average RR is 8.59. So let's round it down to 8. So 1:8 is the average RR, and accuracy is 39%. Those of you who are experienced in this stock market, aware of risk, reward, and returns, they know that this strategy is good enough. And SQN is 4.32, which makes it into great setup. And those of you who are not aware of SQN, don't worry. For the time being, go with me that this is a great setup. And scale-in percentage is more than 100%. That means this strategy is scalable. That means you can grow your capital using this strategy. And if we make a small change, and that small change is, if we only take the entry using stop order when price has gone, when price is leaving the zone. Let's just consider this zone. You are not going to put the limit order here to buy the put. No. You are, when price reaches here, your alert is triggered, and you wait for the price to retrace back. And in the retracement, you enter, whether using the stop buy order or using market order. I'll leave that choice to you. So if you do this, then the statistics are this. 64% accuracy. So I have capped the profit to 1:10, and that's why the profit factor has come down. If I don't cap it, then it is going to be of this range. And best part of capping it is that we are not becoming too greedy. Then SQN jumps to 9.2. That makes it Holy Grail. This SQN number is derived from using mathematical statistics, and statistics is only meaningful for minimum number of 30 trades. So this system, this setup is Holy Grail for 30 consecutive trades. It also means for any 30 consecutive trades, you are going to make money, and it is definitely scalable. So if you only enter using the stop order, you get a better accuracy, not double, but yeah, almost more than 80% jump in the accuracy. And if you cap your profit so that your greed is under control, your emotions are under control, if you exit hard at 1:10, then yes, your system, your mental health, your account health, your physical health, everything is going to be thankful to you. Now, how is this zone validated? And by this time, you must have noticed that this zone is formed between two candles. So when the lowest low of the two candles is broken, then this zone is validated. Okay. Whenever the lowest low of sell zone is crossed, this zone is validated. Similarly, for the buy side, when the highest high of these two candles, so highest high is here. When this candle is the high of this candle is crossed, then this zone becomes valid. And make sure the zone is not mitigated. The gap should not be filled. So as you can see, the next candle try to fill the gap. So still this much gap is remaining. And if this gap is not less than 1 point of Banknifty, this zone is there. Your stop loss is still 20 points, and you wait for the price to come back here, and you enter in the retracement, and you put your stop loss, and then wait for the trade to mature, either hit your stop loss or give you profit. So that's how basically this goes. That's all this strategy has to offer. And in order to demonstrate it, let me pick some random point. And let me identify some zones which we can trade. Okay, I am finding one here. Here is a zone. This zone is valid because lowest low is here and it got broken here. So the zone is valid. Here also for these two candles, the gap is there and lowest low is here. It got broken. So zone is valid, and like that. Let me also find something on the buy side. This one is a valid zone, but the high of the zone got broken in this candle. And before that, the zone is already mitigated by this candle. Two candles, the highest high got broken here. The next candle, you got the entry, and look at the move. This is the gap. Our stop loss is by default going to be 20 points. So even if I don't measure 20 points every time to save time, please assume that the stop loss is 20 points. This is also one, but let me measure it. It looks very, very thin. It is exactly 1 point. We'll go with it. And then here also, here, yes, 20 points. Okay, we got plenty of the zones. How you trade this? First of all, always look for the validation. So this is the demand zone, and we are going to buy here if and only if the zone is validated. The highest high got taken out in this candle. Zone is valid. It is yet to be mitigated. Now, do we enter in this candle? No. We wait for this candle to go here, let it come back, and then make another attempt to the downside, then come back. Here is your entry, and here you enter, and there is your reward. So you get this work. Now here, this zone, if we put limit order here, then we will be wiped out. I mean, not wiped out, but we will lose the trade. So we are not going to put the limit order. We are going to use the stop re-entry. So keep an eye on the chart. And as soon as the candles start to retrace, this is also opening candle, 9:15 candle. So in the retracement, you enter. And in 1, 2, 3 candles, you got your reward. This trade, this zone also worked. Then here, okay, here price is going to start. Basically, now I am going to start the replay. Let's see. In this trade, write down the next rule. If candle closes outside the zone, we are not going to take the trade. So if the high or low is broken on closing basis, if candle closes outside the zone, you are not going to enter into the zone. You are simply going to delete it. So here the rule will save us. Here in this retracement, we will enter. The retracement was not good enough. We will not be able to make money in this. That here we lost money. Okay, let me switch on the replay and let me find any zone. I found this zone. I don't know whether it is even a point. It is 1 point. Okay, so this zone is valid. I mean, we can take the trade here. And the high of the zone, high of the two candle also got broken. So this zone is live and it is up for the grab. Now tell me, shall we be entering in this zone or not? Yes or no? we will not be entering because the candle closed outside the zone. Here is one. Validation and then entry, and boom, your profit. Gap. Next candle took out the highest high between these two candles, and next candle gave you the entry, quick profit. 1, 2 candle, third candle, maximum. Then here is another zone. Tell me here, in this, shall we short or not? Shall we take the entry or not? Yes or no? Here in the retracement, we will enter, and this is your profit. 1, 2, 3 candles. Okay, so this zone gave you money. Now this one, tell me, shall we enter in this or not? Yes or no? And here is our entry. And then candle came in the retracement, we will enter. And 1, 2, 3 candles, your profit. And your profit is, you are seeing your profit. So I think now each of you got the idea how to enter, how to trade. And you see that in the same day, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. One trade failed, and rest of them, they worked. And we can keep doing this again and again, but that will be just a repetition.
वेलकम बैक दोस्तों. सो आई होप आपको स्ट्रेटजी अच्छी लगी होगी. आप इसको जरूर ट्राई करिएगा, और अगर आप लॉस में नहीं भी हैं तो बस ऐसे एक हफ्ते तक ट्राई करके देखिएगा. जस्ट ट्राई करेगा. मैं नहीं बोल रहा कि आप अपना जो भी रियल पैसा है वो लगाओ. आप पेपर ट्रेड करके देख लेना. आप देख लेना कि ये कैसे परफॉर्म कर रही है, उसके बाद ट्राई करना. एंड आई रियली प्रे कि आप लोगों को पहली बात तो लॉस ना हो, लेकिन अगर लॉस हो जाए किसी भी अनफोर्सीन रीजन की वजह से, तो ये स्ट्रेटजी आपका लॉस कवर करने में आप सबकी मदद करे, सो दैट कि आप कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ मार्केट में लंबे टाइम तक बने रहें. और अगर लंबे टाइम तक बने रहेंगे तो डेफिनेटली कंसिस्टेंटली प्रॉफिटेबल भी हो जाएंगे लॉन्ग रन का गेम है. सो विद दैट, वंस अगेन थैंक यू वीडियो पूरा देखने के लिए, एंड तक बने रहने के लिए. और मुझे अगर आप मौका देते रहेंगे तो मैं आपको सर्व करता रहूंगा. और मैं रोज ट्रेडिंग डेज में सुबह 9 बजे 9:07 या 8 मिनट पे, जैसे प्री मार्केट क्लोज होता है, तो मैं अपने चैनल पे लाइव आता हूं कि हम लोग फर्स्ट 15 मिनट्स में क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं, और लाइव ट्रेड भी करता हूं अगर मिलता है तो. यू ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेलकम टू ज्वाइन मी. और हो सकता है कि जो भी मेरा एनालिसिस है उसको आपको भी फायदा हो. अगर आपको फायदा हो तो आते रहिएगा, फायदा नहीं हो रहा हो तो थैंक यू फॉर ट्राइंग मी.